Most folding e-bikes are either too weak, too heavy, or too expensive. And the ones that fall under $800? Most of them are garbage. Weak motors that quit on the first hill, hinges that wobble after 3 months, batteries that die before you reach the grocery store. But here's the thing, a few of them are actually worth buying. In 2026, the budget e-bike market changed. And right now, there are 5 folding e-bikes under $800 that real riders are actually using every day. We rank them by real-life use, not just specs on paper. Stay until the end, because number 1 is going to surprise you to number 5. Gotrax E-Fold. Let's start at the bottom of the list. And when I say bottom, I do not mean bad. I mean the most affordable pick on this entire list. If you have never owned an e-bike before and just want to see if riding one fits your life, the Gotrax E-Fold might be exactly what you need. This bike sits around $500. You can find it at Walmart. That alone tells you who it is built for. Someone testing the waters, not someone commuting 5 miles uphill every morning. Here is what you get. A 350-watt motor, a 48-volt battery with 7.8 amp hours inside the frame, a top speed of 20 miles per hour, and a folded package that fits in a car trunk, a dorm room corner, or behind your couch. The bike weighs 49 pounds, which is lighter than a lot of folding e-bikes in this price range that tip over 65 pounds. That matters when you are lifting it onto a bus rack or walking it through a doorway. Gotrax is a real brand. They built their reputation on electric scooters. Most companies slap a 1-year warranty on a budget bike and call it a day. Gotrax gives you 2 years. That is double the coverage most competitors offer at any price close to this. Now for the honest part. Real-world range is around 18 to 22 miles per charge, not the 40 miles on the product page. Paper numbers are tested on flat ground with a lightweight rider at the lowest assist setting. Expect 20 miles in real life and plan around it. The motor handles flat streets and gentle slopes well. But if there are real hills near your house, this bike is going to slow down and struggle. The 350-watt single-speed setup does not have the torque to push you up steep grades. That is the biggest limitation, and it needs to be said plainly. The brakes are mechanical disc brakes. They work, but they require more hand pressure than hydraulic brakes and need more frequent adjustment over time. Who should avoid the Gotrax E-Fold? Heavier riders over 200 pounds will drain the battery faster and feel the motor strain more on any incline. Anyone needing more than 5 or 6 miles of daily commuting will outgrow it quickly, and taller riders over 6 feet will find the fit uncomfortable. But for someone who wants a lightweight, foldable, affordable option for a flat neighborhood, a college campus, or the last mile from a train station, the Gotrax E-Fold does exactly what it promises. At $500, it is the easiest entry into folding e-bikes on this list. Coming up at number 4, a bike that keeps the simplicity but bumps up the quality where it counts most. And it still costs $800. Do not go anywhere. Number 4, Gotrax F1. The Gotrax F1 takes everything that works about the E-Fold and sharpens it for the daily commuter. It costs $800. And for a folding e-bike at that price, it is built with the right priorities. The motor is 350 watts running on a 48-volt system. Top speed is 20 miles per hour. Real-world range sits around 25 miles per charge. But the thing that separates this bike from everything below it on this list is weight. The phone weighs just 44 pounds. That is one of the lightest options available anywhere near this price. What does 44 pounds mean in daily life? It means carrying this bike up 2 flights of apartment stairs is manageable without stopping. Loading it into the back of a compact car is easy. Walking it through a subway turnstile or an office lobby does not turn into a workout before your day even starts. Weight is one of the most practical specs on any folding e-bike, and the phone nails it. The bike has 20-inch air-filled tires, front and rear disc brakes, a clean LED display showing speed and battery level, and folding pedals that actually collapse flush. On cheaper bikes, the pedals stick out even when folded and make the whole package awkward to carry. That detail matters. 5 pedal assist levels let you control how much motor help you want and how much battery you want to conserve. For a flat city commute, you can ride on level 1 or 2 and stretch your range well past the average. Crank it to level 5 when you are tired or running late. Now the honest limits. The phone is a single-speed bike, no gears to shift. On any significant hill, the motor is doing all the work alone. A 350-watt motor at 48 volts will get you up gentle inclines, but anything steep is going to slow you down. Plan your route around flat terrain and you will never notice. Ignore this and you will be disappointed. The battery is also fixed inside the frame. You cannot pull it out and charge it at your desk. You either bring the bike to the outlet or use the charging port on the frame. For apartment riders without indoor parking, this can be a small daily inconvenience. 2-year warranty. Again, that matters. Who is this for? Students and apartment riders in flat cities. Anyone who wants a clean, simple daily commuter they can fold and park behind a desk. Riders under 6 feet who want portability above everything else, who should skip it. Anyone with real hills. Anyone needing range beyond 25 miles. And anyone over 6 feet who will feel cramped on the compact frame. Number 3 on this list changes the conversation. Because for the same $800, you can get fat tires, a 60-mile range claim, and a motor that is twice as powerful. But it comes with a trade-off that a lot of buyers miss. Let's get into it. To number 3, Engwe L20 2.0. The Engwe L20 2.0 looks like it should cost more than $800. Fat tires, front and rear racks, integrated lights, a large LCD display, and a 750-watt motor. On paper, this bike should be sitting closer to $1,200. It is not. It is $800. The motor peaks at 1,000 watts and runs Boss's 750 watts continuously. That is more than double the motor power of anything below it on this list, and you feel it immediately. This bike handles rolling hills and moderate slopes without hesitating. The Engwe is not going to conquer steep mountain terrain, but for the kind of hills you find in most suburbs and cities, it has real power behind it. The tires are 20 by 3 inches. Those wide, plus-size tires absorb bumps and rough pavement noticeably better than the skinny tires on most budget folders. Cracked city streets, light gravel paths, bumpy bike lanes. The L20 2.0 smooths all of that out in a way the other bikes on this list cannot. Top speed is 28 miles per hour. The claimed range is 60 miles. In real-world riding, you will land between 35 and 45 miles depending on assist level and how hilly your route is. That real-world number is still the longest range on this entire list. The bike also comes with fenders, front and rear racks, and lights already installed. Most e-bikes at this price make you buy those as separate accessories. Getting them included saves you $80 to $100 right out of the box. Now the trade-off. The Engwe L20 2.0 weighs around 66 pounds. That is 20 pounds heavier than the Gotrax phone. Picking this bike up and carrying it is a real effort. Lifting it into an SUV alone is doable. Carrying it up 3 flights of stairs every day is not fun. If you need to transport this bike by hand regularly, the weight will wear on you fast. The suspension is front only. There is no rear suspension. On rough roads, you will feel the rear end bounce more than you expect for a bike that looks this beefy. It handles pavement and packed paths well. Loose terrain gets uncomfortable. Build quality is solid but budget. The frame is strong. The components, display, brake levers, and shifter feel functional but not refined. That is the reality of any $800 e-bike. The Engwe is no exception, but it is honest about what it is. Who is this bike for? Riders who want the most range and the most motor power at under $800. Riders who store their bike at ground level, in a garage, or in a building with an elevator. Riders who want to handle moderate hills without worrying. Who should avoid it? Anyone who needs to carry their bike upstairs daily. Anyone riding in tight urban spaces where the wide, fat tire footprint becomes a problem. Anyone for whom weight is the top priority. At number 2, we have the most recommended folding e-bike under $800 by almost every serious reviewer in 2026. It has one technical feature that every other bike at this price is missing, and that feature changes how well it actually performs on the road. Here it is, number 2, Lectric XP Lite 2.0. If you read any honest review of budget folding e-bikes in 2026, one name comes up more than any other. The Lectric XP Lite 2.0 at $799. And the reason reviewers keep coming back to it is one thing that sounds technical, but makes a real difference once you understand it. The secret to this bike is how it manages its power. While it runs a 48-volt electrical system like others on this list, it uses a tuned controller that allows the motor to punch way above its weight class. That setup means stronger power delivery, better hill response, and more consistent motor performance as the battery drains down compared to typical budget electronics. The motor is 300 watts continuous with an 819 watt peak. On paper, 300 watts sounds modest. In practice, the 48-volt system and 819 watt peak give this bike more real-world performance than its numbers suggest. In hill climb tests, it maintained a minimum of 12 miles per hour on sustained grades. Not bad for a budget folder. The folded size is 36 inches long, 16 inches wide, 27 inches tall. That is genuinely compact. Car trunk, closet, apartment corner, dorm room. It fits where most folding bikes do not. Weight is around 49 to 52 pounds, depending on configuration. Now here is what separates the Lectric from every other bike on this list and most bikes above it in price. It comes with hydraulic disc brakes. Every other folding e-bike at this price uses mechanical brakes. Hydraulic brakes stop faster, need less hand pressure, and require far less maintenance. That is a premium feature on a $799 bike. The display is a color LCD screen. Clean, modern, easy to read. The BMX-style handlebars are adjustable for different riding positions. And for an extra $100, you can upgrade to a Gates carbon belt drive. That belt replaces the chain and runs for over 10,000 miles with no grease, no cleaning, no adjustment. It turns this bike into a true set-it-and-forget-it commuter. The standard battery delivers 20 to 45 miles of real-world range. For an extra $200, you can upgrade to a 14 amp hour long-range battery and nearly double that range. That flexibility, paying more for only what you need, is something most brands at this price do not offer. Honest limits. The 300-watt motor struggles on sustained steep hills. On long, aggressive climbs, you need to pedal with the motor rather than just using the throttle. This is a flat to moderately hilly terrain bike. Also, fenders are not included in the base price. Larger riders above 6 feet 1 inch may find the frame slightly small. Payload is 275 pounds, so heavier riders can ride it, but hill performance will suffer more than it would for lighter riders. Who is this for? Urban commuters, apartment dwellers, last-mile riders, students. Anyone who wants real quality at a real budget price. The Lectric XP Lite 2.0 is the most complete folding e-bike under $800 available in 2026 and the one we would recommend to most people. But we saved number 1 for a reason. Because number 1 should cost you more than $800. It almost does. But in 2026, it crossed under $800 for the first time, and what it offers at that price changes the entire conversation. Number 1. Ride1Up Portola of everything on this list up to this point was making the best of a tight budget. Number 1 is something different entirely. The Ride1Up Portola normally sells for $995. In May of 2026, it dropped to $795 for the base model. And at that price, it is not just the best folding e-bike under $800. It is one of the best folding e-bikes at any price close to this number. Here is what you get. A 750-watt brushless geared hub motor producing 65 Newton-meters of torque. That is more than double the motor power of the Lectric at number 2, and more torque than you typically find on folding e-bikes at any price under $1,200. This motor climbs real hills. Reviewers tested it in San Francisco, one of the hilliest cities in the country, and it handled those streets without struggling. Top speed is 28 miles per hour in unlocked Class 3 mode. The bike ships as Class 2 at 20 miles per hour for legal road use, but Class 3 is available through the display settings. Now look at the rest of the package. An 8-speed Shimano Altus drivetrain. That is a name-brand gear system you simply do not find on folding e-bikes at this price. 8 gears mean you can shift down on a hill, reduce the load on the motor, and stretch your battery further at the same time. No other bike on this list gives you that. Hydraulic disc brakes. Integrated rear rack with a 130-pound carrying capacity. Front and rear lights built in. Fenders included. Kickstand included. Front suspension fork, and passenger foot pegs. This folding e-bike can carry a second rider. Real-world range testing by independent reviewers came back at nearly 50 miles on the base 10.4 amp-hour battery, beating Ride1Up's own 40-mile estimate. That is impressive for any e-bike, folding or not. The folding mechanism is clean and foolproof. Ride1Up built a safety lock into the hinge. The cabling is routed so it stays clear of the fold. A strap keeps everything together when you carry it. The bike weighs 59 pounds. That is heavier than the Lectric. But what you are carrying at 59 pounds is a machine that competes with $1,500 bikes. You are not carrying a budget e-bike. You are carrying a compressed version of something that should cost twice as much. Honest limits. At 59 pounds, carrying this bike up 4 flights of stairs every day is a grind. Riders over 6 feet 2 inches may feel cramped on the cockpit, though a longer seat post can fix that. And because of the sale pricing, Ride1Up has stated these discounted Portola sales are final with no return window. If you buy at $795, you are committed. That last point is important. Make sure you want it before you click. Who is this for? Anyone who wants the most performance for the least money. Riders who have real hills in their commute. Commuters who want a bike that handles everything. People who have been waiting for a folding e-bike that feels like a real machine, not a compromise. This is the bike that changed what $800 means in the e-bike world in 2026, and that is exactly why it is number one. Conclusion, so here is where we land. The Gotrax E-Fold at $500 is the safest entry for a first-time rider. The Gotrax phone at $800 is the lightest daily commuter on this list. The Engwe L20 2.0 at $800 gives you the most motor power and the longest range for the money. The Lectric XP Lite 2.0 at $799 is the most complete all-around pick, offering hydraulic brakes and a peak power output that defies its size. And the Ride1Up Portola at $795 is the one that makes you wonder why you would ever spend more. Most cheap folding bikes are still not worth your money. The 5 on this list earn their spots.